A very good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook, guys. And we're going to be analyzing euro dollar and the major dollar pairs. So euro dollar, first of all, has been consolidating very heavily. We can very clearly see that we are in a consolidation phase here on the daily time frame. So price is currently stuck, making trading overall just a little bit more tough because the market is not really moving in any certain direction. So what I'm seeing here is that obviously we have this trend in towards the upside. However, after coming in towards this high and euro dollar trying to establish a new higher high, right, because that would make sense with the overall trend, you can see that we've seen multiple areas of rejection after grabbing liquidity above that high and us also being inside a daily area of supply. If we just go into the weekly real quick, what we'll also be able to see is that the weekly is bearish as well. You can very clearly see that we had an uptrend in towards the highs. Then we shifted bearish. This is just all a pullback before the next potential leg in towards the downside. So here now on the weekly time frame, we've seen a double top, and now based on this weekly candle, we could expect either further push down or indeed, if we flip bullish again, another push in towards this weekly high where also liquidity lies. Now, if we want to understand if we're going to move up higher or lower, this is one indicator that I love to use called fractal structure, and it's not really an indicator, but it's just market structure drawn in on individual candlesticks. So very simply said, the current fractal structure is us being in between this daily bearish candles low and in between this daily bearish candles high. So this is currently your bearish range, and I'm looking to understand if we are going to break this. If we do, I will be looking for further downside. If this demand zone holds, we should push further upwards. Now, we've already tapped in towards this area of demand for a few days in a row. As you guys probably know, if you move in towards an area of demand or into a fair value gap very swiftly and move straight back out again, like we for example did over here, this to me is an indication that there's a lot of demand. Now inside here, there's not a lot of demand because otherwise we would have already pushed out. We've grabbed liquidity above the swing high, therefore I am anticipating a potential move down lower. Going in towards the 4-hour time frame, consolidating as well. Again, what happened yesterday is that, or last night, is that we grabbed liquidity underneath these lows. We pushed in towards this demand zone. So now there is potential for us to push back up higher, but I do still think that it would make more sense now for EURUSD to push down even lower, as we're very clearly on this trend line over here, and start pushing in towards the lows. The only opportunity that I see for a long personally is if we push down one more time, take out the fractal low, and then see a fractal shift in structure. And with fractal shift, I just mean a shift in structure on the individual candlesticks. And then on the 1 hour, what would that look like? Well, that would look like another push in towards the downside, and then again a market structure shift. But yeah, for now it's just consolidating, as you can clearly see, so I'm not really doing anything. Today we have news on the dollar in the afternoon, so you can very clearly see we have ISM manufacturing and JOLTS job openings, so that's definitely going to be moving the dollar later today, and I'll be waiting for that with a lot of anticipation. So going into the dollar index, the dollar index has pushed up higher. So what's interesting to see is obviously we pushed down lower underneath this swing low over here, grabbed the liquidity, and since then reversed in towards the highs. If we just zoom out for 1 second, it's very, very clear that we're inside. And if we go even up higher, it's very clear that we're inside an area of support. So here you can see support, 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 and now potential for support once again to push the dollar up higher. So I wouldn't really be looking for any further big dump on the dollar. Obviously, we could dump down lower, looking at 99.578, potentially that weekly low, and then tap in towards this area of demand over here, and then reverse from there. But it is already looking good, in my opinion, to potentially push up higher. Obviously, looking from the perspective where we are currently situated here on the dollar index. Now, going in towards the 4-hour time frame, we also note that there's a lot of liquidity resting above all of these equal highs. So for myself, it would make sense for the dollar to start pushing up higher. Now, euro dollar is maybe not the cleanest pair, but I am looking for some clean setups on Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, pound dollar. What I'm seeing here on Aussie dollar, first of all, is that if we just start on the daily time frame, and again, nothing has changed from yesterday, we can still very clearly see that we have a swing high here, which we grab liquidity above, and we're now looking obviously to see if we can start pushing back in towards the downside. Now, the thing is, at the moment, the overall fractal structure is still bullish, right? So this bullish or blue, low is still your fractal low, and this is now your fractal high over here. So this is currently the bullish range that you're trading inside of. So there is not yet real reason to believe that Aussie dollar is going to push down lower until this blue line goes. However, you can look at the 4-hour time frame and you can pretty much anticipate that there is potential for just a little bit of a deeper reversal in towards the downside. Because if we look at what's happening over here, is that you have pretty much this. So you have a push up in towards this high, the high of this bearish candle. You get a push down, you get another push up in towards the high over here that broke this high. And now we've seen a market structure shift on the fractal structure, pull back, and now we could potentially start pushing down lower because we have liquidity resting underneath these two equal lows. And yeah, that would pretty much just make sense now with kind of the corrective pattern that we're seeing in towards the upside. If you definitely go in towards the 1-hour time frame, you'll see it a lot more clear. We have a very clear ascending pattern in towards the upside. So a short would make sense in my opinion. It's not the highest probability short. If you're a little bit more of an aggressive trader who takes a lot of setups, it definitely would be a good setup to take in my opinion. But looking here at the daily, it's just not enough confirmation yet. We're just still too bullish for myself to really swing this down. However, on the 4-hour time frame, it does look good. And maybe if you want more confirmation, then wait for the 1-hour lows to go, as this demand zone is still in control. So just wait for this low to go and then sell on with the overall momentum in towards the downside, towards these equal lows that we have over here. Because here you can see equal low, equal low, equal low. So that would make sense on AUDUSD, but for now you can see that we're just inside 1-hour demand that is currently holding. So I would not yet look to enter a short just based on 1 4-hour fractal break over here. We need really a little bit more confirmation. So going into GBPUSD next. So pound dollar is actually the most consolidated pair of them all. The only thing that I'm still looking at is that we have this swing high over here, and I've talked about it a lot of times. We have an old area of supply over here, and that area of supply has already been tapped into, right? So you can very clearly see we tapped into it there, we sold off. So this supply zone is not fresh anymore. Therefore, I expect it to get run and to grab the stop losses, which are resting above the high of that old supply zone. So now if you go back to the right, what you'll see is that we're very close to that swing high. We have not yet taken it out. So I've been waiting for us to take out that high. Overall momentum is still in towards the upside. Obviously, we can very clearly see the impulse up. This now is starting to turn into consolidation with all the red folder news that we have this week. So yesterday, what I mentioned is that we had this. So we had this kind of like wedge forming, and what you often see is that we just grab liquidity and then just reverse, but then again push back down. So this is evolving into like a big consolidation range. Therefore, I would advise against you trading this. What I would just view this as is just a consolidation range like this. And then what you again very clearly see is that 25% mark is the buy, 75% mark is the sell. Don't try and analyze this on supply and demand, because you're just going to get caught up on fake moves in my opinion. Therefore, I would just wait. If you want to buy, you can buy from here, but just keep in mind that you should sell again once you reach that 75% mark. Personally, I'm not trading this for now. Yeah, overall momentum is just still too bullish to look for sells. So yeah, a short-term buy, could be a good potential idea. Now, NZDUSD. NZDUSD is pretty much the best possibility that I see for a short actually on these dollar pairs. We have very clear liquidity resting above this swing high, so above major swing points within the market. That's where we expect liquidity to lie. So there's liquidity over there, potentially resting. Now here on the daily, you can see that we obviously reject that swing high. Here on the daily as well, what I mentioned in yesterday's video is that preferably what you want to see is a strong close above the overall area of demand which is created. So this is your entire sell before the buy over here, right? So what you would expect the market to do is to start pushing out, right? Because this is a demand zone. You want it to engulf that old sell before the buy, especially if you look, for example, over here. This becomes demand, this sell before the buy, because this is a strong buy which closes outside. Here you get a sell before a buy, but you see 1, 2, 3 candlesticks all fail to close above that bearish candle's high. Therefore, to me, indicating that bearish momentum or bullish momentum is weak. We grab liquidity, and now there's potential for further downside on this pair. So what I'm now looking at is, okay, we got the fractal structure break here at the top, fractal break, fractal low break, and now yeah, looking for the further downside yeah, to commence here on NZDUSD. So keep my eyes open for some shorts on this pair, just like with AUDUSD, waiting for a little bit more confirmation both on both pairs though. Going into gold, last of all, gold, I am looking for longs. I explained this yesterday on YouTube. What I'm looking for is obviously this imbalance that we have over here to push gold up higher and see new higher highs be formed. Going into the daily real quick, you can just clearly see that the daily is still extremely bullish. This was the daily imbalance. If we use the 50% body candle indicator, you can very clearly see that's the daily imbalance. Then going towards the 4-hour time frame, where you can also see it's a 4-hour imbalance. So there's a lot of confirmation that that could be a strong imbalance zone. Now this morning, what happened is that we broke the fractal high over here, which broke this fractal low. So supply has been in control for quite some time. Yesterday I was already looking for longs, but you can just see the overall supply chain has just been holding. Now we broke the supply for the first time. So for now, just to confirm that this is not just a liquidity grab, I'm going to be waiting for a double break up, and then I will be entering a potential long here on gold. So that's it for today. See you guys inside Discord. I'm active there, answering all questions together with the team and also sharing some trades if I spot any. And yeah, have a great day and see you soon.